Welcome back to the deep dive. Today we're embarking on quite a unique journey. We're not just looking at isolated historical bits and pieces, we're really diving into an extraordinary narrative. Now, it's a fictional story, but it masterfully weaves in elements that, well, they resonate with decades of strange phenomena and, official responses. You'll hear echoes of mysterious lights, unexplained events, and a kind of hidden struggle that touches on perception itself.
Indeed. And we'll be exploring how this story takes those familiar threads we often see, old newspaper clippings about weird events, really personal accounts of things people just can't explain. And it ties them all together into this chilling, cohesive whole. So our mission today is really to pull out the key pieces from this intricate tale, connect the dots that might seem unrelated, and help you understand the scope of what this story illuminates about, well, human nature and how we face the unknown.
Okay, let's unpack this. Maybe we should start with those historical echoes, just to set the stage for the story we're getting into. Our sources really kick off with a whole series of news reports, painting this picture of peculiar things happening. It starts way back, August 1st, 1947, Chicago Daily Tribune. The headline reads, USF says cannot explain Arnold citing 850 additional sightings since original report. That sets a tone right away, doesn't it? Official confusion.
Yeah, bewilderment, really. And this struggle to explain, it just continues. A couple months later, Roswell Daily Record, October 19th, 1947, you get this story. So-called space wheat, a hoax, angry farmer declares.
Oh.
This farmer, Andrew Hoxson, he insists his red-tinged wheat was nothing but a prank.
Right, immediate debunking, move along, nothing to see here.
Exactly. It becomes a sort of default response, doesn't it, when something just doesn't fit?
It really does. And then things get, well, much darker. Tragic, even. Courier-Journal, Kentucky, January 8th, 1948. Air Force captain killed chasing UFO. It mentions Captain Mantell's last words. Metallic, tremendous in size. And then...
Air Force mum. Just silence. No explanation. Chilling.
Absolutely chilling.
And what's fascinating is how this pattern, strange sightings, official denial, or silence, it keeps popping up. It's cyclical, even happened across continents. Look at the Brazilian National, March 12, 1957. Strange ringed craft crashes in Mato Grosso. 2 women menaced near Ponto Paran. And they even reported, we heard squealing sounds from within. Imagine hearing that.
God, that's terrifying. And it seemed to spread, that terror. Just a few years later, Oklahoman, May 12th, 1965, the headline screams, Mato Grosso horror. Reports of gray men with huge black eyes, scientists scoff. Reports persist. Villages in terror. This is where the gray men idea really takes hold in the public mind, isn't it?
Precisely. And you see the whole cycle again. For that earlier red-tinged wheat to later reports, like in the Oklahoman again, June 2nd, 65, about alien growth. And what happens? Declared all hijoax. Blamed on teenagers with a spray gun.
Always an easy explanation handy.
Always. It's this constant struggle between official dismissal and what people insist they're seeing. Characters in the narrative we're focusing on, they have this grim little motto, same shit, different day, SSDD. And it captures that perfectly, how society, how the officials just kind of brush off what they can't easily explain.
Yeah, SSDD, you see it again and again, like New Hampshire 1965 UFO sightings. Air Force investigators come in, declare it an optical illusion.
But Officer Cleland, who saw it, he pushed back hard, said, I know what I saw. And around the same time, you even had this weird, unexplained food poisoning epidemic in Plaistow. Makes you wonder, doesn't it? Are these things connected somehow?
You have to wonder. And it doesn't stop in the 60s. Fast forward to 1997, Phoenix Sun, March 14th. Huge UFO sighted near Prescott. Dozens describe boomerang-shaped object, and later. Still just Phoenix lights remain unexplained.
Right. Even Gerald Ford back in 65 called for a proper UFO investigation.
Yeah. So it's not just, a handful of isolated things. It's a repeating pattern. And in the narrative we're exploring, this pattern kind of sets the stage for something much more personal, much deeper.
Exactly. These historical accounts, they paint the big picture, the persistent mystery. But our deep dive really narrows, gets more intense when we look at the core of this story. Which brings us to this remarkable group of friends, Henry, Pete, Jonesy, and Beaver. They share this incredibly deep bond, almost telepathic, you could say. It comes from a childhood connection with a very special boy named Duddits.
Okay, and this is where the story just grips you. These guys, they're adults now, each with their own lives, their own issues. Pete's a car salesman. He's got this knack for finding things, like he just knows directions. But he's also got a drinking problem, something his friend Henry worries about quite a bit.
And Henry, he's a psychiatrist. But ironically, he's kind of detached from his own profession, struggling with depression himself. He has this strange ability, they call it seeing the line. He perceives these uncomfortable truths about people, like with his patient, Barry Newman, seeing the root of his compulsive eating tied to his mother's death. Henry just blurts it out, knows he shouldn't, but does. It's a heavy thing to carry, that kind of insight.
Yeah, sounds like it. Then there's Beaver, a carpenter. Really colorful language, apparently, but charming. Described as a tribble you can't help liking.
Yeah, fiercely loyal, especially to Duddits. And he loves Scooby-Doo, always noting how they never change their clothes.
Huh. And Jonesy, he's a college professor.
Right. And he gets these flashes.
Yeah.
Intuition. Sometimes he just knows things, sees his wife's pill problem, or knows the student is cheating, literally sees the word cheater in, like, red neon in his mind.
Wow. So they all have these echoes of something.
Exactly. And it all seems to connect back to Duddits. This boy with special needs, their magic friend, they call him. He has his own way of talking, Duddits, like, ooby ooby doo, where are ooh. Yeah. But crucially, Duddits has this powerful telepathic ability to see the line. He seems to be the source, the origin of his friend's own gifts.
And they really care for him, right? Like convincing him Santa was real when he was worried.
Deeply. Their connection is profound. And their annual hunting trip up to Jefferson Tract in Maine, that's the ritual that reinforces the bond.
Okay, so this hunting trip starts normally, their tradition, but then it goes sideways, fast. Henry and Peter out somewhere, Jonesy's back at the cabin, and this massive snowstorm hits. Out of nowhere. Then they find this guy, Rick McCarthy, lost hunter, and he's in terrible shape. This awful patch on his cheek looks like a port wine stain with stubble growing out of it, making these horrible rasping sounds. Tells him some garbled story about being chased by a bear.
Yeah, but it's not just a lost hunter. This is where the threat becomes real, tangible, horrifying. McCarthy isn't just sick, he's infected. The friends start noticing the smell, foul, like shit and mine gas and ether. And they realize McCarthy is changing, transforming. It leads to this absolutely gruesome discovery in the bathroom. McCarthy's dead, with a giant bloody crater in his center, and there's this reddish golden mold growing everywhere, on the shower curtain especially. This is the virus, an alien fungal infection, fast-growing, invasive, basically a biological weapon.
Oh, God. Okay, and meanwhile, Henry and Pete, they're not having a good time either.
No. They crash their scout, almost hit a woman just sitting cross-legged in the middle of the road in the storm. Becky Shue. She's just staring into the storm, unresponsive, wide eyes not blinking. Then she dies.
Her body turns red.
Dark red, yeah. With snow crusted around her waist, just awful.
And the crash itself is significant too, right?
Hugely significant. A real turning point. Because Henry gets injured, a gash on his thigh. And almost immediately he realizes he's been infected with the virus. He can feel it, itching and foaming and fizzing. He even feels it, trying to think.
Wow. So it's intelligent. Invasive in that way, too.
It seems so, not just a physical thing. It's trying to understand, maybe control. It raises this huge question, what is this virus actually trying to do?
And while all this personal horror is happening, the situation is escalating outside, too. The storm gets worse.
Right, and the military moves in. The Air National Guard, the ANG, they set up a quarantine zone around the whole Jefferson Tract, start rounding people up, interning them at Gosselin's Market, Old Man Gosselin included. We hear about a Blue Boy leader, Owen Underhill. Seems like he leads some kind of special containment unit. But there's also this other figure, Kurtz, ruthless.
Kurtz? Yeah, he sounds bad. Talking about a gray boy body count, meaning the aliens of 81.
81, yeah. And talking about a final solution for the people they've detained. It's chilling. It paints this picture of a response that's brutal, maybe spiraling out of control, blurring the lines between containment and something much darker.
Okay, so the external threat is massive, military quarantine, but the battle also moves inward, especially for Jonesy.
Exactly. The battle shifts to some really unexpected fronts. Jonesy, remember the professor, he gets hit by a truck earlier on. And after that, his mind, it gets invaded, taken over by an alien entity they call Mr. Gray. It's described as a rudimentary humanoid that's sporulated, and Jonesy basically inhaled it.
So Mr. Gray is inside Jonesy's head.
Inside his head. Jonesy is trapped, like in a mental storeroom, watching Mr. Gray use his body, fighting for control. And he witnesses Mr. Gray experiencing human things for the first time.
Bizarrely.
Develops this intense craving for bacon sandwiches.
Bacon sandwiches.
On white bread with mayo. Consumed with divine enjoyment, apparently. It's this weird mix of alienness and newfound human desire.
That's deeply strange. But Mr. Gray isn't just enjoying sandwiches, right? He has a purpose.
Oh, definitely. He's ruthless, Efficient, he leads Jonesy. Specifically, Jonesy's ability to see the line, his connection, because Mr. Gray has a goal, a specific, terrifying destination in mind.
And just when things couldn't get more intense, we find out about Duddits, their magic friend.
Yeah, turns out Duddits is dying. Acute lymphocytic leukemia,
Yeah.
all L. His mother, Roberta, she's heartbroken, obviously, but she understands that his telepathic gifts, his connection to his friends are heightened now. His eyes, she says, are his true gift.
God, the personal stakes just keep getting higher, so Duddits becomes key.
He becomes their beacon, his brilliant green eyes. They can now track Mr. Gray's bright yellow line wherever Jonesy's body's going. So Henry and Owen Underhill, the soldier, the Blue Boy leader.
The one with the moral compass. And that weird trauma about a stork, not a stroke.
That's him. He's grappling with his orders, his conscience. He and Henry team up. They have to use Duddit's ability to find Mr. Gray, intercept him. It's a desperate race against time, and Jonesy's fighting his own battle inside.
Okay, so where is Mr. Gray heading? What's the target?
This is where it connects to the bigger picture, the potential catastrophe. He's heading for the Quabbin Reservoir,
Boston's water supply.
Boston's main water supply. And the narrative gives us this chilling precedent, a story from years before. A Russian woman, Elena Timirova, she climbed the fence, disrobed, and threw herself into shaft 12, the intake, the throat of the aqueduct. Committed suicide right in the water supply, left only a cryptic note with directions. It's this dark foreshadowing.
Foreshadowing
It
Duddits,
seems so. Foreshadowing his destiny and the horrifying stakes of Mr. Gray's plan.
which is to infect the water supply with the virus.
That seems to be the goal.
Yeah.
And Duddits,
Yeah.
he makes the ultimate sacrifice. He goes into Shaft 12 himself, taking one of the virus creatures, the one from McCarthy, which he calls the dog, with him. It's a final act to stop Mr. Gray's plan. Maybe it infects the water anyway. The source is a bit ambiguous on the exact outcome, but the intention is clear. He's trying to prevent something far, far worse, a truly heroic, desperate act.
Wow. Okay, so that's happening at the reservoir. What about back at the quarantine zone? Goslin's Market. Things are escalating there too, right?
Absolutely. The climax is just brutal chaos on multiple fronts. While the president is on TV giving this national address, totally downplaying everything.
Calling it fungal growth, not unlike athlete's foot.
Yes.
Seriously.
Seriously. Assuring everyone it's contained, which, based on what we're seeing, is a complete lie. While he's saying that, the military clean sweep at Goslin's is going critical. They're planning to eliminate the detainees. But Henry, using his own amplified abilities now, may be boosted by the virus. He telepathically urges the Ripley positives, the infected, showing those specific awful symptoms to break out. He shouts into their minds, "Now! Now! Now!" Incites this mass escape from the burning barn they're trapped in.
Utter chaos, and the personal costs keep mounting.
Devastatingly so. Owen Underhill confronts that creature from McCarthy, the dog that Duddits took into the shaft, and kills it. Then he faces Jonesy Mr. Gray. Jonesy claims Mr. Gray is dead, that I cut his throat while Henry held a pillow over his face. It suggests this. Internal victory, maybe. It's unclear.
A struggle inside Jonesy's mind.
Exactly. Owen then has to deal with Kurtz, the commander. He kills Kurtz, but then Owen himself is killed by Freddie Johnson, one of Kurtz's own soldiers, who finally snaps and rebels against the horrific orders.
So much death. Duddits, Beaver. What
Yeah.
happened to Beaver?
It's implied he was consumed by the virus back at the cabin. A horrible end. So Beaver's gone. Pete died earlier near the crash. Owen, Kurtz. The core group of friends is just shattered. The price is immense.
So after all that horror, what's left? What did this narrative leave us with?
That's the big question, isn't it? What remains? Henry is alive, but he carries the weight of all that loss. And he still has traces of the virus on his leg. A physical reminder. Jonesy is back to the standard five senses, as the text says. His ESP, the line seeing, it's gone. But he's forever changed by Mr. Gray, by that possession. There's this metaphor used, the Dreamcatcher. Henry thinks about how the ones they made as kids were meant to catch bad dreams, but this time he thinks it snared a real nightmare.
Meaning even good intentions, strong bonds can lead to awful consequences, that some things are too dark to just catch and forget.
Precisely. It suggests that some nightmares are too real, too potent. But the enduring message, I think, despite all the horror, is the strength of that bond between the friends, the loyalty, the sacrifices they made, even in the face of something utterly incomprehensible and terrifying. That connection, that humanity was their greatest strength.
What a journey through this story. It starts with those echoes of real-world reports, decades of strange sightings, and spirals into this intense secret war fought on so many levels. Physical, mental, emotional. It's really a stark reminder, isn't it, of the complexities that might be hiding just beneath the surface of everyday life.
Absolutely. And that phrase, same shit, different day, it starts as this cynical motto, but by the end, it feels heavier, more somber. It points to that cyclical, persistent nature of the strange, even when the details shift. What looks like isolated weirdness might actually be threads, part of a much larger, terrifying pattern woven through time, just waiting to reveal itself.
So what's the takeaway for you, listening? Maybe. Maybe it's a nudge. To look a bit closer at the stories you dismiss. To question the easy answers. To wonder about the hidden connections between things that seem random. Could that same shit, different day feeling actually be something else? A quiet hum beneath everything, just waiting for the next strange turn.
And, if knowledge sets you free, what happens when the truth you uncover comes at a cost that just shatters your world? Something to think about until our next deep dive.